Welcome to our channel. Hidden in plain sight, these Roosevelt dimes are worth way more than 10 cents, some are nearly priceless. You won't believe how a small minting error or rare date can turn spare change into serious cash. Make sure to watch till the end so you don't miss any valuable finds. Let's start with a coin, one that looks completely ordinary at first glance, yet hides a secret that could make your heart race. It's small, silver, and worn by time. You've seen 100 like it in your life. But this one, this 1960 Roosevelt dime, is different. Not because of how it shines, but because of a tiny, almost invisible flaw, a flaw that turns this everyday dime into something truly extraordinary. Back in 1960, America was in a moment of transformation. The post-war boom was still echoing through the suburbs, Kennedy was on the campaign trail, and the U.S. Mint was churning out millions of coins each day. Among them, the Roosevelt dime, a tribute to the president who led the nation through its darkest economic times and World War II. A man who became a symbol of strength, leadership, and progress. The dime that bears his profile had been in circulation since 1946, shortly after his death. It featured a classic design, Roosevelt facing left, the word liberty wrapping the side, "In God We Trust," tucked neatly beneath his chin, and the year of minting, in this case, 1960, standing proudly to the right, but even with the precision of the U.S. Mint, mistakes sometimes happen. And in the world of coin collecting, those mistakes can become legends. This particular dime is known for a rare and dramatic minting error, a double die obverse. In plain terms, that means during the production of the die, the metal stamp used to strike the coin, the design was imprinted more than once, but slightly misaligned. This caused some elements of the design, like the date and the inscriptions, to appear doubled. At first glance, you might miss it. But look closer, and you'll see the word liberty showing faint shadows. In God We Trust might look unusually thick or bold. And that 1960 date. It almost seems like it's vibrating, an echo of itself cast in silver. This isn't the result of damage, wear, or a trick of the light. It's a real, documented minting error, a genuine double die. And while thousands of dimes were struck that year, only a handful carry this remarkable imperfection. To the average person, this coin might still seem like pocket change. But to a trained eye, it's a golden ticket, a rare slip-up frozen in time. It's not just about rarity, it's about being in the right place, at the right time, with the right coin. The error itself likely occurred during the die hubbing process. This is when a working die is impressed with the coin design from a master hub. If the alignment is even slightly off between hubbings, doubling appears. These dies then go on to strike thousands of coins, until the error is noticed, or the die is retired. But here's where things get even more interesting. Most of the coins struck with these flawed dies went unnoticed. They were mixed in with the rest, spent on lunch, tossed into piggy banks, lost behind couch cushions. Few people knew to look. Even fewer knew what to look for. And that's what makes finding one so special. Collectors today go wild for these error coins, not just because they're rare, but because they tell a story. A story of the mint, of craftsmanship gone slightly awry, of a perfect mistake that slipped past inspectors and ended up in circulation. A story that turns a 10-cent piece into a prized possession, but not every double die is equal. Some show very light doubling, visible only under magnification. Others, the truly valuable ones, show bold, unmistakable doubling that jumps out even to the naked eye. These are the coins that get submitted to grading services like PCGS or NGC, slabbed in protective cases, and assigned official grades like MS-63 or MS-65, depending on condition and strike quality. Condition is everything in the coin world. A 1960 Roosevelt dime error in circulated condition might fetch a few $100s. But a mint-state example, with sharp features, strong luster, and dramatic doubling, that's the kind of coin that can make headlines. Imagine being the person who finds one in a jar of old change. Or tucked away in a roll of dimes from a bank. Or inherited from a relative who had no idea what they were holding. It happens more than you might think. Every collector dreams of that eureka moment, the coin they overlooked, now turning out to be the centerpiece of their collection. And that's the magic of numismatics, it transforms the ordinary into the extraordinary, the forgotten into the unforgettable. The thrill of the hunt, the joy of discovery, the moment your jaw drops when you realize what you've found, it's all part of what makes coin collecting such a fascinating hobby. And then there's the big question, what's it worth? Well, this is where things get serious. In a major numismatic auction, a verified 1960 Roosevelt dime with a dramatic double die obverse, in mint state condition, clean surfaces, strong strike, and bold doubling, sold for a jaw-dropping $123,000. Yes, you heard that right, one small dime, with a tiny imperfection, became a six-figure treasure. So the next time you find yourself holding a 1960 Roosevelt dime, don't just glance and toss it aside. Take a closer look. Check the lettering. Examine the date. Use a magnifier. Tilt it in the light. Because hidden in plain sight, among the ordinary, just might be the extraordinary. Up next, we're going to look at a coin so unassuming, most people wouldn't give it a second glance. A coin so ordinary in appearance, it's been passed around in everyday change, rolled up in coin wrappers, and left sitting in dusty drawers for nearly 3 decades. But hiding in plain sight, among millions of others just like it, is one version of this coin that defies all expectations. It's the 1995 Roosevelt dime. Small. Simple. Often ignored. But not this one. When we think of rare coins, we often imagine old silver dollars, colonial cents, or gold pieces from the 1800s. What we don't expect is something from the 1990s, something as common as a dime, to turn out to be one of the most extraordinary finds in modern numismatics. The Philadelphia Mint, where this dime was struck, produced over 680 million dimes in that single year. That's a staggering number. By all definitions, the 1995 dime is not rare, at least, not at first glance. But coin collecting has always been about the details. And in those details lies a story that flips the script on everything you thought you knew about modern change. Let's begin with the basics. The Roosevelt dime has been in circulation since 1946, honoring the 32nd President of the United States, Franklin D. Roosevelt. The obverse side shows Roosevelt's profile, accompanied by the word liberty, the motto, "In God We Trust," the year of mintage, and the mint mark, in this case, a small p beside the date, indicating Philadelphia. Among the 680 million dimes minted in Philadelphia in 1995, an extremely small number, possibly only a few, were struck in a way that makes them completely unique. Some coin specialists believe these rare pieces may show signs of a double die, where part of the design appears slightly duplicated, sometimes in the lettering, sometimes in Roosevelt's profile. These doubling effects occur when the die itself shifts slightly between impressions during its preparation. The result is a coin that carries unintended, duplicated features, visible only under close examination, but unmistakable once you see it. To make things even more compelling, it's not just the variety that makes this dime remarkable, it's the condition. The coin that earned attention is in what collectors call mint state, but not just any mint state. We're talking about a coin that's been professionally graded at the upper end of the scale, possibly MS 68 or higher. Let me put that into perspective. On the Sheldon grading scale, which goes from 1 to 70, coins that grade above MS 67 are considered exceptionally rare, especially for modern, high-mintage coins that were never intended to be collected. Coins like this were made for circulation. They weren't protected in sleeves, albums, or mint sets. Most were handed over in change, dropped on the floor, scratched against keys, or tossed into jars. So for one to survive decades without any contact marks, scratches, discoloration, or wear, that's truly extraordinary. This particular 1995 dime stands out for several reasons. First, it shows no signs of handling. The luster is still there, the brilliant, natural shine that only freshly struck coins carry. Every detail in Roosevelt's hair is fully defined. The torch on the reverse side, sharp, crisp, and perfectly centered. Then, there's the possibility of an error, something subtle, but significant. It could be a double die obverse, where slight doubling appears in the date or inscriptions. Or perhaps a misaligned die strike or a very light off-center feature. Collectors spend years, even decades, looking for a coin like this. Most never find one. The odds of locating a high-grade error or variety from a year like 1995 are astronomically low. What makes it even more impressive is that it's a modern coin. So many people assume all valuable coins must be old. But this one is living proof that modern coins can be just as valuable, sometimes more so, if they check all the right boxes: rarity, condition, and error. To the average person, it's still just a dime. It fits in your palm. Feels like pocket change. But when collectors and graders examined this piece, they realized it was something else entirely, a top-of-the-line, elite specimen of a coin that's nearly impossible to find in this condition. People are no longer looking only at the age of a coin, they're looking at quality. They're asking, how rare is this coin in top condition? How many like it are known? And how many of them are still sitting undiscovered? This 1995 P. Roosevelt dime answers those questions in the most stunning way. Think about it, how many 1995 dimes have you seen in your life? Hundreds? Thousands? Probably more. But out of all those coins, only one, or possibly two, might exist with this specific combination of flawless condition and extremely rare variety. That's what pushes it from a collectible to a treasure. And now, for the moment you've been waiting for. After years of silence, after being mistaken for just another coin, this little Roosevelt dime was finally recognized for what it truly is: a perfect storm of rarity, condition, and historical minting anomaly. The current coin value of this remarkable 1995 P. Roosevelt dime, in its rare variety and mint state condition, has been estimated at $64,000. Stay tuned, because there's still more to come, and who knows what we'll uncover next. The next coin we're diving into is something truly exceptional, the 1999 D. Roosevelt dime error. What makes this coin stand out isn't just a simple mistake but a fascinating combination of errors that have turned an otherwise common dime into a numismatic marvel. At first glance, it looks like any ordinary 1999 D. Roosevelt dime, but the closer you look, the more the story begins to unfold. This coin carries a repunched mint mark, meaning that D was struck more than once, but slightly off from its original position. It's a subtle doubling that you wouldn't notice without a magnifier, but for the seasoned collector, it's like finding a hidden signature. This repunched D alone makes the dime unusual, but that's only part of the story. What really sets this dime apart is a distinctive die crack that runs from the rim directly through Roosevelt's cheek. This crack is a telltale sign that the die, the metal piece used to strike the coin's design, had developed a fault during the minting process. Imagine the die slowly fracturing, with each strike slightly worsening the crack, until it imprints a raised line on the surface of each coin it touches. This die crack is sharp, clearly visible, and runs in a perfect, almost artistic arc across the face of the coin. Now, errors like these don't just happen by chance. They are rare moments when the mechanical precision of the minting process is interrupted, when a machine's wear and tear or a tiny shift in alignment leaves behind a unique fingerprint. The 1999 D dime error we're looking at carries that fingerprint in vivid detail. Over time, only a handful of these error dimes have surfaced, especially in high grades with sharp details and original luster intact. Many coins with errors end up heavily circulated or damaged, but this particular variety survives in pristine condition, making it an absolute gem for collectors. The presence of both a repunched mint mark and a prominent die crack on the same coin significantly elevates its rarity. Collectors who specialize in modern errors often chase these elusive varieties, knowing that their value lies not just in the flaw, but in the story the flaw tells. It's a story about the mint's production line, a glimpse behind the scenes showing that even in a modern era of mass production, tiny imperfections create one-of-a-kind treasures. Authentication is critical here. When submitted to trusted grading services, the coin undergoes a thorough examination. Experts verify that the doubling is genuine and not the result of post-mint damage or cleaning. They evaluate the die crack's placement and consistency, and they assess the overall condition, looking for wear, scratches, or discoloration. A coin that earns a high grade, particularly in the MS-65 range or above, is viewed as a near-perfect example of this rare error. The coin's eye appeal is striking. The contrast between Roosevelt's detailed profile and the jagged raised line running across his cheek draws collectors' eyes immediately. That contrast between flawless artistry and minting imperfection creates an irresistible allure. Collectors not only appreciate the rarity but also the story behind the coin's creation, the unexpected slip in a process designed to produce millions of identical coins. It's a reminder that behind every coin, there's a history, a moment, a chance occurrence frozen in metal. What's especially exciting is the growth in demand for this rare variety in recent years. As more collectors become aware of it, and as fewer high-grade examples remain available, its desirability has surged dramatically. This coin has gone from being a curiosity, something overlooked in change, to a centerpiece in advanced era collections. Those lucky enough to own one hold a piece of minting history that embodies both rarity and beauty. Its story also reflects the human element in minting. Machines are precise, but not perfect. These little flaws are evidence of the delicate balance between technology and chance. Each coin tells a tale, and this dime's story is one of rarity born from imperfection. Beyond its visual appeal and rarity, the coin also sparks endless discussions among collectors and experts about minting processes, quality control, and the unpredictable nature of production errors. It stands as a learning point and a fascinating case study for anyone interested in the art and science of coin making. And now, the moment you've been waiting for, the value of this remarkable 1999 D. Roosevelt dime error has reached an astonishing $55,000. That's right, what was once just a tiny piece of everyday currency has become a treasure commanding a price most coins can only dream of. It's a testament to the power of rarity, condition, and the captivating stories that errors tell. This dime proves that in the world of numismatics, perfection is sometimes less valuable than a beautiful flaw, a slip in the machine that turns an ordinary coin into an extraordinary collectible. So next time you're sorting through change or opening a roll of dimes, remember, sometimes, hidden among the ordinary, lies a coin that tells an extraordinary story, one worth tens of thousands of dollars. Now let's explore a coin that, at first glance, might look completely ordinary, but beneath the surface lies a fascinating mint error that has stunned collectors and experts alike. We're talking about the 2006 P1 dime, a coin that turned an everyday object into something truly remarkable. Minted at the Philadelphia Mint during what seemed like a routine production year, this dime didn't cause any buzz initially. It quietly entered circulation, stacked among millions of others, never expected to stand out. But it did. And how? Among sharp-eyed collectors and coin roll hunters, a few strange examples began to surface, dimes from 2006 showing odd fading on the reverse side. Parts of the torch appeared faint, the flames unclear, and in some cases, entire bands or lettering seemed to dissolve into the surface. At first, many thought it was damage, maybe from circulation, cleaning, or wear. But those who knew better saw the signs of something much rarer, a genuine mint error. What made these coins so unique was a phenomenon known as a grease-filled die. During the minting process, if oil, grease, or debris builds up inside the die, which is the steel mold that strikes the coin's design, it can block the finer details. The result? A coin that leaves the press without its full design. And that's exactly what happened here. On some 2006 P dimes, the grease disrupted the striking process, muting the detail in specific areas, especially on the reverse. But not all grease-filled die errors are equal. What makes this one exceptional is its clarity. The lack of detail is crisp and specific, and on high-grade examples, the rest of the coin remains sharp and fully struck, making the error even more striking. The contrast between the bold design and the faded sections turns the coin into an accidental masterpiece. On top of that, some of these error coins also exhibit signs of strike doubling around the edges, especially on the lettering. It's faint, but there, adding another layer of complexity. And in numismatics, complexity almost always means greater value. Now think about this, the Philadelphia Mint struck hundreds of millions of dimes that year, over $1 billion, to be exact. So finding one with such a rare and specific flaw is like finding a whisper in a thunderstorm. And finding it in mint state, untouched by circulation, still gleaming with its original luster. That takes the rarity to another level. Collectors love coins that tell a story, and this one tells a quiet but powerful tale, about a mechanical slip, an overlooked detail, and a handful of coins that slipped through the cracks, literally and figuratively. These aren't coins you find every day. Most of the few that were discovered were pulled from circulation quickly and submitted for grading. The best of them, with full mint luster, clean fields, and minimal marks, were rewarded with grades of MS 66 and above. And those are the ones that now sit at the center of prized collections. Imagine the thrill of spotting one, a regular dime in your change, and realizing it's worth thousands. That heart-racing moment is what every coin hunter lives for. It's not just about money, it's about discovery, history, and the chase itself. Because every roll of coins could be hiding a secret, and every ordinary day holds the potential for an extraordinary find. That's the magic of collecting, and this 2006 P dime is proof that even the smallest coins can carry the biggest stories. What's also fascinating is that many people who came across this coin likely spent it without a second thought, never knowing what they had. That's the beauty and irony of modern errors, their greatest value is often hidden in plain sight. This coin serves as a symbol of patience and persistence for coin hunters. It reminds us that big finds aren't always flashy or dramatic, sometimes, they're subtle. You just have to be willing to look closely and know what you're looking for. Its story also reflects the human element in minting. Machines are precise, but not perfect. These little flaws are evidence of the delicate balance between technology and chance. Each coin tells a tale, and this dime's story is one of rarity born from imperfection. Beyond its visual appeal and rarity, the coin also sparks endless discussions among collectors and experts about minting processes, quality control, and the unpredictable nature of production errors. It stands as a learning point and a fascinating case study for anyone interested in the art and science of coin making. It's become something of a legend among modern era collectors, a reminder that the smallest oversight at the mint can turn a regular coin into a hidden gem. And that's what fuels the chase. That's what keeps collectors searching. And now, for the part every collector wants to know, the value. A high-grade example of the 2006 P1 dime error, certified and preserved in mint state condition, with those distinctive weak reverse features and added strike anomalies, has now reached a value of $29,000. So, the next time you see a 2006 dime, don't brush it off. Tilt it under a light. Examine the details. Because you might just be holding something far more valuable than 10 cents, you might be holding a piece of minting history worth more than many cars on the road. Moving on to the last coin in today's lineup, the 2010 Roosevelt dime. At first glance, it might appear to be just another ordinary piece of pocket change. Minted at the Denver Mint during a year without much fanfare in the coin world, the 2010 Roosevelt dime doesn't scream rarity or excitement. It's easy to dismiss it, just a modern dime, right? But as seasoned collectors know, the magic in numismatics often lies not in headline-grabbing errors or ultra-low mintages, but in the quiet, subtle details. And that's exactly where this dime begins to shine. Now, let's be clear, we're not talking about a rare die variety, a dramatic off-center strike, or even a double die. No, what sets some examples of the 2010 Roosevelt dime apart is something far more nuanced: quality. We're talking about a coin's state of preservation, its precision strike, its unblemished fields, and its brilliant luster. In top condition, this coin transforms from mundane to magnificent. What truly elevates this dime is the presence of full torch details, sometimes called full bands. This means you can clearly see the full, uninterrupted horizontal and vertical lines on the torch on the reverse. It's a mark of a strong, full strike, and it's not as common as you might think. Pair that with a bold, frosty luster, razor-sharp design elements, and the absence of distracting marks or blemishes, and suddenly, you're looking at a grade-worthy candidate. A coin that stands out under magnification and in the eyes of professional grading services. And here's where things get interesting. While the 2010 D. Roosevelt dime was struck by the millions, over $500 million, in fact, finding one in top condition is not an everyday occurrence. These superior examples are increasingly hard to find in pristine form, making them stand out to collectors who value quality above all else. As time goes on, coins like this get lost in circulation. They get scratched, worn, or simply overlooked. So those perfect examples, they become the survivors, the elite few, and that's when they really begin to catch the eye of discerning collectors. This is a perfect example of how modern coins can surprise you. Just because it's not rare in terms of mintage doesn't mean it lacks collectible value. Condition, strike quality, and eye appeal can turn a seemingly ordinary dime into a sought-after prize. It's also a great reminder that the world of coin collecting isn't just about chasing the rarest or most expensive pieces. Sometimes, it's about appreciating craftsmanship, the story behind the minting process, and the thrill of discovery in everyday coins. So what can you do? Start by checking your uncirculated mint sets. Go through sealed bank rolls. Look carefully at any brilliant dimes you come across in change. Keep a 10x loop handy. Know what to look for. And when you do find a potential gem, protect it. Store it safely, and consider professional grading if the coin really stands out. It's also worth noting that some dealers and grading services are increasingly paying attention to these kinds of subtle quality markers. Coins with full bands and pristine condition often command a premium because they represent the best of what the mint produced, because in the world of modern coin collecting, condition is king. And often, it's not about what's wrong with a coin, it's about what's right. So the next time you're sorting through change or opening a roll from the bank, keep your eyes peeled. That ordinary-looking 2010 D dime with a bold Denver D mint mark, shimmering with original luster and showing no signs of wear, that could be a true modern-day sleeper. A quiet gem, hiding in plain sight. And those are the kinds of coins that make the hunt so rewarding. It's a reminder that sometimes, the stories we chase in numismatics don't have to be flashy or famous, they can be found in the small details, waiting for a sharp eye and a little patience. Remember, every coin tells a story, and your collection is a chapter in that ongoing tale. Keep exploring, keep learning, and don't underestimate the value of patience and a keen eye. And if you ever feel stuck or overwhelmed, reach out to fellow collectors or online communities. Sharing knowledge is part of what makes this hobby so special. Also, don't forget to document your finds. Even the smallest discovery can become a highlight down the road. Finally, trust your instincts. Sometimes, that subtle sparkle in your pocket change is the start of a remarkable journey. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this deep dive into modern coin collecting, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you never miss a future find. We've got plenty more stories to uncover, one coin at a time. Until next time, happy collecting, and remember, sometimes the next great discovery is already in your pocket.